Look at your electric bill. Look at the total. Have you ever wondered why, despite living in a developing nation, you are paying some of the highest electricity rates in all of Asia? Have you ever wondered how one single private corporation secured an absolute legally untouchable monopoly over 55% of the entire country's power output? A monopoly the government just quietly extended all the way to 2053. Millions of Filipinos are sweating through record-breaking summer heat, staring at bills charging over 14 pesos per kilowatt hour. You point fingers at hidden fees, corrupt politicians, and greedy billionaires. But the true story of how we got here is a corporate thriller. Let's rip the mask off the Philippine power sector. Welcome to the billion-dollar empire of Meralco. Let's start with the most infuriating line item on your bill: system loss. In any normal free market business, if inventory is stolen by shoplifters, the business eats the financial loss. But Meralco operates under a government-protected monopoly. When power thieves use illegal jumpers to steal electricity, the law doesn't punish the company. It punishes you. Honest, paying consumers are legally forced to shoulder the cost of stolen goods. You are literally paying for the electricity of thieves. But it gets worse. Look at the Lifeline subsidy and universal charges. Imagine finishing a meal at a restaurant, and the receipt includes a mandatory donation to pay for the senior citizen eating at the next table, plus a tax to help the owner build a new branch. That is your electric bill. The government legally mandates discounts for marginalized consumers and funds for renewable energy infrastructure. But instead of funding these social programs through national taxes, they legally force the middle class to pay for it directly through their monthly electric bills. It is forced charity disguised as a utility charge. How did a private corporation get this much power? To understand, we have to look back at the darkest era of the Philippines. If you scroll social media, the rumor is that Cory Aquino handed the Meralco monopoly to her family after the 1986 EDSA revolution. It's a great political thriller, but it's a myth. The Aquino and Cojuangco families never owned Meralco. The truth is much darker. When the Aquino administration took over in 1986, the Philippine economy had already collapsed. The government inherited a staggering, crippling foreign debt of $28 billion from the Marcos era. The country was practically bankrupt. Then, a fatal policy decision was made. Due to corruption and safety fears, the government mothballed the Bataan nuclear power plant, but they built absolutely nothing to replace it. The state-owned power company was drowning in that $28 billion debt and couldn't afford to build new infrastructure. The result? The traumatic 1990s power crisis. The grid simply collapsed. Metro Manila was plunged into rotating brownouts lasting 10 to 12 hours a day. Factories stalled, businesses went bankrupt, the economy bled billions. This trauma, the brutal realization that the government was too broke and too inefficient to keep the lights on, is exactly why the government surrendered. They passed laws to privatize electricity, handing the keys of the grid over to private billionaires. They had no other choice. Today, conglomerates owned by billionaires Manny V. Pangilinan and the Gokong Wei family run the empire. Meralco isn't doing anything illegal. Every single charge you see is meticulously approved by the Energy Regulatory Commission. But the reality of a regulated monopoly is a double-edged sword. You get a grid that works, funded by private billions instead of government debt. But in exchange, you become the ultimate shock absorber for every stolen kilowatt, every fluctuating dollar, and every government mandate. So, the next time you look at your bill, remember, you aren't just paying for the air conditioning in your bedroom. You're paying for the inherited debt of the past, the stolen power of the present, and the ultimate unavoidable price of having absolutely no other choice.
So I did the research. I'm a market researcher by profession, and I analyze it like a neuromarketer. But I'm an HRM graduate. So to put it more simply, let's analyze it and explain the cost of our Meralco bill in terms of a restaurant. First, Generation charge. Generation charge is the raw ingredients. This is the cost of the raw meat, buns, and vegetables. Next is transmission charge. Delivery from supplier to restaurant. This is the logistics cost of the farm delivering the beef to the restaurant's kitchen. Third, system loss. Imagine ordering a food, but the receipt includes an extra 20 pesos fee labeled spoiled meat and food stolen by rats. In a restaurant, 5 to 10% of food will rot, drop on the floor, or get wasted. Restaurants calculate this loss and hide in the overall menu price. Next is distribution charge. This covers the restaurant's rent, the waiter's salaries, the kitchen equipment, and yes, fixing those broken chairs. It comes from the distribution charge they collect over time. Next is Lifeline and Senior Citizen Subsidies. Imagine finishing your meal and seeing a 5 peso charge on your receipt that says contribution to pay for the senior citizen eating at table 4. Next is universal charge. It's like renovating the branch. Your receipt includes a 30 peso charge to help the restaurant owner build a new branch in a remote province or to fund the restaurant's transition to expensive eco-friendly packaging. And one more note. Did you know that the Philippines is the second highest electrical utilities expense in Southeast Asia, only next to Singapore? So, even though that we're not the richest Southeast Asian country, we're paying for the second most expensive utility charge.